Hi, Niche Nights. This is Miss Hall here, and we're going to be viewing a YouTube video on floods and droughts. And we're actually going to be looking at a place in Australia. It's a place in Australia where they experience either too little water at times or too much water. And we're going to compare how floods and droughts affect the ecosystem. Um, Droughts are typically a result of, of a dry climate over a long period of time. Okay, it doesn't just happen in one day, it happens over a long period of time. Floods, however, can happen because of a change of weather, and it can also happen quickly. Okay, you might have heard the term flash flood. Flash flood warning may pop up on your phone. You may see it whenever you're watching the news or something like that. Floods can usually happen pretty quickly. Um, so I just want to speed it up just a little bit, just to show this is where a flood is on its way to this area. If you look at the clouds are getting it's getting real cloudy there. And like I said earlier, this place in Australia, it has experiences droughts as well as a lot of flooding. Okay, so right now we're seeing the buildup of the flood of this heavily droughted area. Now, some may think I'd rather have too much water than not enough water. But just imagine if flood water that we experienced from Hurricane Harvey, thousands of people lost their homes, lost their lives. And what had to happen? Okay, if they lose their home, they need to have another home. So they need to go somewhere else to live. Okay, some species are able to actually thrive during these floods. Okay, but for the most part, plants, animals, or even people, they cannot survive in these conditions. Okay, so a flood is not an ideal situation. Let me pause it real quick. Now, look at it differently now. If we remember from our last science lesson, we know what a drought looks like. Okay, this is a drought. A drought, it has very little amounts of water. Okay, so during a drought, we have to do our best to conserve water. It means spending less time in the shower or taking baths instead. So plants are receiving less water, so they die. Animals, not enough plants for animals to eat. So they either die or have to go to other environments to have that food. Okay, so this affects not only plants, not only the environment, but it affects animals as well as people. And there's no real way to predict when a drought might happen. Okay, so think about these three questions. How do droughts affect the ecosystem? How do floods affect the ecosystem? What changes to the ecosystem do floods and droughts have? So I want you to ponder on those questions.